And before we're joined by our next guest, I want to consider how a real democracy actually handles gun issues and changes to gun laws. Consider what Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had to say about guns in Canada. Listen to this.
2 years ago, our government banned 1,500 models of assault-style weapons, including the Ruger Mini 14 used at Polytechnique and the AR-15. We also expanded background checks to keep firearms out of the wrong hands. We did it because it was what responsible leadership required us to do. And now, as we see gun violence continue to rise, it is our duty to keep taking action. So today, we're moving forward. We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. In other words, we're capping the market for handguns.
I wasn't going to cover this until I saw the American news channel MSLSD call Canada a real democracy. First of all, Canada is a constitutional monarchy, you fucking brainlet. You authoritative source spreading harmful and dangerous misinformation. And secondly, the United States is not a democracy either, because I guess that's where they were trying to go with this comparison. The United States is a constitutional republic. The purpose of the American experiment is not to create democracy. In fact, the founding fathers have wrote countless complaints against the concept of democracy. No, what they were trying to achieve is liberty and freedom. That's why they went against the British Empire, to get liberty and freedom. And by providing liberty and freedom to the people and allowing people to pursue their happiness, they have created one of the most powerful nations on the face of the earth. The reason, MSLSD, that you are even a billion-dollar corporation leeching off the money of Americans is because America is so powerful. But anyway, you know, whatever. I like the fact that when the elites are getting what they want, it's a real democracy. And when people don't give a shit about what the elites think, oh, then it's a problem. The reason I'm pointing this out is that in the United States, there is absolutely no more will to ban guns. The conversation is over for a couple of decades. I made a video explaining why this is due to the 2020 riots, where any person who opened the television channel and flipped through any network would get at least 1,000 reasons on why they need to have a gun. And you have the left, which believes that the police is systemically racist, and they take orders from a white supremacist, heteronormative, patriarchal, capitalist country that is there to oppress people, so the left don't trust the police. Meanwhile, right-wingers don't trust the government. They think the government is out to get them. So, if that's the case, the right-wingers don't want their guns to be taken away, and the left-wingers who don't trust the police, they need guns to defend themselves. A lot of leftists bought guns. Right? So they're not now going to vote for legislation that takes something away that they just bought. Brainlets in chief. But, okay, so that is the situation in the US. They're not going to take your guns away. Meanwhile, in Canada, I love how cynical the government is, because they didn't campaign, from what I can tell, they didn't campaign on a no-gun platform. They didn't have a referendum. They didn't talk about it. They were like, oh, there's a tragedy across the border. Now is the time. I mean, the country which demonstrated that it can take away the bank accounts of peaceful protesters is now taking away the guns from people. Do you honestly think it's for their own safety? I don't know. It's just that I'm looking at Canada and they're just taking more and more powers for themselves. Like the government has the ability to literally take away your bank account without a court order. They show that they can do it. If you push them hard enough, they're going to do it. And it's not even that. They're not even going to do it as a last resort. It's not like, okay, well, we exhausted all the options, and the only thing left now is to use the nuclear button. No. They didn't even talk to the truckers for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, Trudeau didn't go down there to have a conversation with the truckers to see why they are striking. They don't give a flying fuck. So that's the situation that Canada is now in. And of course, the government like just wants more power for themselves. More power, more power. And the reason it does this is because you're going to notice in the upcoming future, the quality of life of the average citizen is going to go down massively. Okay, like the lifestyle of your parents is not going to be the lifestyle you're going to have. A lot of people are going to find themselves from middle class to lower class. And the lower class, yikes. That's what's happening. And because of that, you're going to notice that the government has more measures for your safety. You know, show QR code wherever you go. You're not allowed to buy or sell guns. Let us have access to your bank account. We can shut it down whenever we want. So that it's more difficult for people to protest against the people that fucked up the economy. That's pretty much what it is, okay? Like, if you genuinely believe that Justin Trudeau couldn't sleep last night because of what happened in the United States, again, here's something else that's interesting, right? Canada is a country that has some of the most guns in the world. And it's probably in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken, when it comes to citizens having guns compared to other nations. And yet, from what I could tell, there are almost no school shootings. In fact, I think there's none. Am I wrong? I mean, please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, because I really tried finding an example. I couldn't find. Why is it that in Canada you don't get to see it, but in the United States you do? You would think the government, if it was really concerned about stopping tragedies, they would hire a team of experts, right? They would hire the science to go there and to see. It's like, okay, well, why is it that in Canada it's not happening, but it's happening in the US at such a frequent basis? Wouldn't that be something that someone that genuinely wanted to stop the phenomenon would do, rather than, all right, well, we're going to take away the handguns, but why though? Like, oh, to make you safe, okay? It's the real democracy at work here. Why didn't they make a referendum, by the way? Because this is like a major change, isn't it? Like, this is depowering the public quite a bit. Why didn't they make a referendum? Oh, I'm telling you why they didn't make a referendum, because they wouldn't like the result. So in a real democracy, making referendums is a bad thing. By the way, I'm from Europe. We used to have referendums here until Brexit. Like, when Brexit happened and they actually saw what people voted in a referendum, they were like, never again. In fact, Jean-Claude Juncker, the president of the European Union, said, you want to destroy the European Union? Keep having referendums. And since that day, we didn't really have that many referendums, which is why you're not going to see one in Canada, which is why they don't really care about the statistics and the polls that you get to see in the United States right now. So, yeah, it is what it is. Personally, by the way, I am not really shocked, considering the fact that Canada is more of a liberal country, and I'm pretty sure, like, maybe the people there would actually support this law. At least the ones in the cities, by the way, you know, which are the ones that matter. Because, like, when it comes to elections, it's just, like, 3 cities that matter. The people in the rural area, they probably wouldn't support this. But, like, the people in the cities, Toronto, oh, of course, you know, they're the ones that are for restrictions of liberty and the government becoming the father of the family, okay? Men suffer from toxic masculinity, and the only place where you can find real masculinity is with the government. The government is now the provider, the government gives you security, the government really cares about you, right? Except it doesn't. It's a cold-hearted institution ran by other people which only care about enriching themselves. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.